Hello, everyone. Welcome to our course, Green Economy from China's Stories. Our last lesson was about global environmental issues and ecological crisis. And we came to a conclusion that environment is not an issue of a country or a region, but an issue of the whole world. We should work together in the global environmental governance. We live on the same earth, and our futures are closely linked to each other. We must cherish and protect the ecological system. As a good ecological environment is the most accessible welfare for the people. Please watch a video.
习近平总书记从生态与民生关系的角度出发，对生态文明建设作出一系列重要论述。其中，良好生态环境是最普惠的民生福祉这一论述，阐述了以人民为中心的发展思想，对于大力推进生态文明建设，不断满足人民群众日益增长的优美生态环境需要，具有重要指导意义。
当前，我国社会主要矛盾已经转化为人民日益增长的美好生活需要和不平衡、不充分的发展之间的矛盾。人民群众从过去盼温饱到现在盼环保，从过去求生存到现在求生态，期盼享有更加优美的生态环境。习近平总书记立足发展新阶段和人民新期待，提出良好生态环境是最公平的公共产品，是最普惠的民生福祉。强调环境就是民生，青山就是美丽，蓝天也是幸福。生态环境是关系党的使命宗旨的重大政治问题，也是关系民生的重大社会问题。把解决突出生态问题作为民生优先领域，积极回应人民群众所想、所盼、所急，大力推进生态文明建设，提供更多优质生态产品，不断满足人民群众日益增长的优美生态环境需要，就是践行以人民为中心发展思想的具体体现，彰显了中国共产党改善民生、造福人民的初心和使命，开创了中国共产党执政理念和执政方式的新境界。
Ecological environment is the most accessible welfare for the people. It is understandable that due to lack of knowledge and development factors, China is facing environmental problems. However, great achievements have been made in the environmental governance after hard efforts. Firstly, let's focus on the major environmental problems facing China. And then we will review the measures that China has taken for environmental governance and the results. What are major environmental problems facing China? They include air pollution, climate change, water pollution, soil pollution, solid waste pollution, noise pollution, land desertification, soil erosion, sustainable use of forest resources, and biodiversity destruction. Here, we will not discuss these problems one by one. The report on the state of the ecology and environment in China, 2017, shows that after pilot supervision in Hebei province and first and second supervisions in other areas, the third and fourth supervisions was completed in 2017 on the state of ecology and environment in 15 provinces. All provinces were covered in the first round of supervision. During the supervision, more than 18,000 cadres were held accountable. 135,000 environmental reports from the public were received. And more than 80,000 environmental issues were directly solved. Let's see these figures and the ranking of 169 cities, and that we can find a clue to the state of air pollution. On the other hand, we can see that main causes of environmental problems are the air, water, and soil pollutions. According to the report on the state of the ecology and environment in China, 2018, the supervision on key regions was strengthened, with 23,000 air-related issues presented to local governments, and 389,000 issues presented in 2017 had been solved. By comparison, we can learn about the changes in the ranking of cities and urban climate conditions after environmental governance. Let's come to the second aspect. In facing these environmental problems, what has the Chinese government done and achieved in the environmental governance? This picture shows that the air pollution in China is shocking. Sometimes we say that a city is domed by haze, and we can have a real feeling about this phenomenon. Let me take some data to explain this phenomenon more clear. In 2011, in China, the annual sulfur dioxide emissions reached 18.57 million tons. Smoke emission, 11.59 million tons. And industrial dust, 11.75 million tons. These figures suggested how serious the air pollution was. The air quality of most cities in China exceeded the domestic standard limits. Among the 47 major cities in China, more than 70% of cities did not meet the Level 2 standards for urban air quality, and environmental statistics was carried out in 338 cities, out of which 137 ones had their air quality beyond the Level 3 air quality standards, accounting for 40% of the total. These cities were heavily polluted cities. Therefore, the air pollution is the most serious environmental problem and the first problem in China. So what has China done regarding the environmental governance? What achievements have been made? The report on the state of the ecology and environment in China, 2018, shows that the State Council issued and implemented the 3-year action plan to win the battle for a blue sky. The Standing Committee of the National People's Congress organized inspections on the law enforcement and reviewed reports on the law enforcement. The government took joint measures, set up a leading group for air pollution prevention in Beijing, Tianjin, Hebei, and surrounding areas, established a cooperative mechanism in Fenway Plain to improve the air pollution control in the Yangtze River Delta region. Actions in the autumn and winter of 2018 to 2019 were taken for air pollution control in the heavily polluted regions. After implementation of these measures and actions, the results of environmental governance are remarkable. When we make a comparison with the previous state, China's air quality has been improved greatly. The picture on the left shows the 1st to 20th cities with good and high air quality. The right one shows 338 cities and their respective rankings. The water pollution in China is also very serious and worrying. there is a statistics on the pollution of China's 7 river systems. The 7 rivers are Liaohe, Haihe, Huaihe, Yellow River, Songhua, Zhujiang, and Yangtze River. 42% of the water quality exceeded the Level 3 standard limits. 36% of urban rivers were tested as Type 4 inferior water quality and had lost their functions. Large freshwater lakes, reservoirs, and urban lakes had poor water quality. The Yellow River dried out for several times. More than 75% of lake eutrophication was mainly caused by nitrogen and phosphorus pollution. These phenomena have attracted great attention. Various measures have been taken and great achievements made. Again, we can refer to the report on the state of the ecology and environment in China, 2018, for details of the measures and achievements. The NPC Standing Committee established a law enforcement inspection team to supervise the implementation of the Marine Environmental Protection Law, carried out the Water Pollution Prevention Action Plan, promulgated the incentive policy for ecological protection and rehabilitation of the Yangtze River Economic Belt. 1,361 illegal wharves along the Yangtze River were rectified. These measures have significantly improved the state of lakes and surface water in China. The left figure indicates that the water quality of lakes and reservoirs has been greatly improved, while the right one shows the progress of surface water improvement. The land deterioration, especially desertification, is another environmental issue we should focus on. The desertified land in China already accounts for 27.3% of the total land area. And the area of desertification is increasing at an annual rate of 2,460 square kilometers. The frequency of sandstorms increased from 5 incidents each year in the 1950s to 23 incidents in the 1990s. Due to the desertification of land, residents in some regions of Inner Mongolia are forced to relocate. In recent years, massive deforestation in the Northwest region, where the ecological environment is relatively fragile, has led some places to desertification. These data triggered a red alert to us, as they are affecting our long-term and sustainable development. Soil erosion should not be underestimated. The total amount of eroded soil is more than 5 billion tons per year, resulting in the loss of soil nutrients equivalent to 40 million tons of fertilizer. This is 1 year consumption. Since 1949, the total area of arable land destroyed by soil erosion in China has reached 40 million mu, which is a great challenge and great loss to China's agriculture. What measures have been taken for control? First, let's take the data collected in 2018 to explain. The area of counties with high and good quality environment accounted for 44.7% of the country's land area in 2018. These counties are mainly distributed in the east of the Qinghai-Tibet Plateau, south of the Qinling Mountains, Huaihe River line, the Xiaoxing-Anling region in the northeast, and the Changbai Mountain region. The area of counties with general quality accounted for 23.8%. These counties are mainly distributed in the North China Plain, Huanghuai Plain, Northeast China Plain, Central and Western regions, and middle part of Inner Mongolia. The area with poor quality and very poor conditions accounted for 31.6%, mainly distributed in western Inner Mongolia, central and western Gansu Province, western Tibet, and majority part of Xinjiang. Comparing the previous data, we can see that significant changes have taken place to the land management, and the area with good quality environment has greatly increased. The destruction of biodiversity is also an issue that we must take seriously. China suffers from severe destruction of biodiversity. Among higher plants, 4,000 to 5,000 species are endangered or nearly endangered, accounting for about 15% to 20% of the total in China, higher than the world average level, at 10% to 15%. In the UN Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, among the 640 global endangered species listed, China has 156 species, accounting for about 1/4 of the total. The indiscriminate hunting and killing of wild animals in China is still very serious, despite repeated prohibitions, exerting an impact to China's sustainable development. With efforts made and proactive participation, we have also achieved positive results in the protection of biodiversity. In the report on the state of ecology and environment in China, 2018, in Beijing, Tianjin, Hebei region, the Yangtze River Economic Belt, and Ningxia, a red line for ecological protection is demarcated in 15 provinces, and a demarcation plan for other 16 provinces, including Shanxi, has been basically formed. By demarcating the red line for ecological protection, the state's supervision on the ecological protection is becoming more strict. A special campaign, Green Shield 2018, for Nature Reserve, was carried out to investigate and punish those offenses that caused damage to the ecological environment. This makes the protection of biodiversity resultful and effective. The right chart shows us the result of protection of ecological biodiversity in China. Let us not, however, flatter ourselves overmuch on account of our human victories over nature. For each such victory, nature takes its revenge on us. Each victory, it is true, in the first place, brings about the results we expected. But in the second and third places, it has quite different, unforeseen effects, which only too often cancel out the first. As early as in 1925, Engels, in his Dialectics of Nature, had given us such tips and warnings. We must cherish nature, worship it, respect it, and protect it. Thank you. See you next time.